3:30 p.m., March the 4th, absentee board meeting for the afternoon. Kick off the conflict of interest statement. As the Board of Surrey County Elections, we have a duty to avoid conflicts or appearances of conflicts of interest. Does any board member have any known conflict of interest or any appearance of a conflict with respect to any matters coming before our board today? If so, please identify the conflict or the appearance of the conflict and refrain from any participation of that particular matter. We have approval of our minutes for February the 27th. Before you, please. Have the signature copy?
Yes, sir. Right here. I'm sorry. There you go.
Motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of our meeting of February the 27th.
Second.
And we have a second. Is there any discussion? Approval of the minutes? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. While the minutes are going around for signature, I will open the public forum portion of our meeting. Is there anyone present or is there anyone online that wishes to speak to the Board of Elections at today's meeting? If not, I will close the public forum portion of our meeting.
He says there's no one online. And no comments have been submitted either. Thank you.
Move to the review of a potential challenge ballot.
Yes, sir. We had a voter vote the first day of early voting, 15th of February. And when he appeared to vote, he voted curbside. And he noticed his birthday was 2 years off. So he took a voter registration application with him to fill out get back to us so we can get that year of birth corrected. Well, when we got that back and entered that in, he did not bring the absentee or the registration form to the office, and he didn't mail it. He hand delivered it back to the early voting site. So it was entered as a same-day registration. So when that occurred, we were able to match his date of birth and his social, which brought him up on the felon list. And he was
He's
not.
same day registered and voted.
No, he did not same day register. He was already registered. He had the release date of 2021. 4 days after getting released from jail, he registered to vote. But he was 2 years off on his year of birth himself. So when we put that in, it didn't validate with the current registration of that social, because the birth date was not, it didn't match.
So you're saying when he registered, he gave a date of birth that was 2 years off?
The year of birth was the discrepancy.
Okay.
So it did not match up to the social of the person who had been removed.
But when he gave his date of birth while trying to vote, he gave his correct date of birth.
And they said, no, sir, that's not what we have.
Gotcha.
And then he said, no, that is my date of birth. And they said, well, you can correct that with a voter registration form. Well, instead of hand delivering it or mailing it, took it back to the early voting site, which you can, we have people do that. With photo ID, that's happened twice.
Okay.
They think that is the Board of Elections. So he did appear on the felon list on Friday. So I emailed the state board to say, okay, will we have to go through the process to challenge and potentially pull that ballot that has been cast? And they confirmed with me late Saturday that yes, we would. So I'm presenting this to the board. You can pass this information around. I've highlighted certain things, but just keep in mind, this will probably be, it'll be up to this board, but most likely a challenge. So keep all of this confidential. But it's the record all the way back to when he registered as soon as he got out of prison.
Was he released from prison or jail? I mean, prison,
Years.
20,
Well, if it was a felon.
Mhm.
oh,
In prison.
had to be in prison.
Yeah.
Each time he has voted, it's been curbside.
This is the first time since, no, he's voted before.
He has, but in November, he had the right to vote because it changed between
That's
the
right.
primary
yes.
and the general.
That's right.
He could vote.
Right.
Now, I can totally understand the confusion
Mhm.
because it was a lot of, in 1 year, it was,
Yeah,
you couldn't, you could, now you could, now you
Yeah.
can't.
And we know from our
Yeah.
previous experience.
Correct.
Last year.
Correct.
So, yes.
mhm.
So
Please. Statute reads, I would be the one to make the challenge.
correct,
If the board shows it out
correct.
for it to be a challenge.
Is he on post-release supervision?
It just comes up on our felon list of parole. He's still on parole.
So that's, yeah.
It would be.
Yeah.
Or should be.
That's
Mhm.
how it comes up and you can see this right here too. I'm sorry. That could have went with it tonight. That's a snip, but you can see the.
There would have been no confusion though about giving that incorrect date.
your year of birth?
I'm sorry.
Do you know your year of birth?
The older I get, I try to state it wrong, but I don't get away with it, seems like.
No.
So in giving his incorrect date of birth after he was paroled or after he was released from prison,
There was no match because the date of birth has to line up with the last four of the social. And it did not. And if one of those pieces don't match up, then it's not a match.
kicks it out. Should that have happened when he registered?
According to what the law was then in 2021, felons could not vote.
Right.
But if your year of birth is incorrect, it's not going to validate to that person who was already removed for a felony conviction.
We voted and it took the same day.
Yes, sir. He voted the first day of early
So if
voting.
we challenge it, if it's
But
challenged,
the evidence of an incorrect birth date was not brought out until he returned the voter registration that had the correct year of birth, and then that matched with that removed voter, which also, Sydney always does the felon list at the end of the month. Well, the felon list was Saturday. And there he
Hello.
was. It
Hello.
matched.
Bingo.
The month and day was always the same, but 2 years off on the year.
so if it's challenged, it'll have to be removed from the,
It
Right.
will, that's already been cast.
Right.
So if it's a challenge, it would still be on morning of canvas, just like the other. But the results would have to be a manual edit. If the board does choose that that one should not count.
We would need to have the challenge hearing before
Yes,
canvass.
before canvas. Because we'd have to manually
Identify and pull.
deduct that one from,
and then you have to go through the pilots and then pull it out.
Or the matter of.
yes, because it has an identifier, of course, because it is an early voting site.
It's just manually you have to go
Oh,
through it.
yeah,
and
there's no
pick
other
out.
way to,
Yeah.
yeah. But, we've got them all grouped by day in the secure packs, by
So it's
site.
not as hard as,
Well, no, it'll just be going through that one secure pack.
It sounds harder than it actually is.
that's what I was thinking.
Well, if
Couple hundred,
you are reconciling each night,
couple
it should
hundred,
be easy, and luckily we are.
couple hundred.
Yeah, that first day was not heavy, and it was here, so that one's even lighter. in
Oh,
that
that,
area,
yeah, it won't even be that
Which
many
was
then.
interesting.
I thought
Into the early voting site.
it was interesting how many
Couldn't believe it was
extra
the-
voters popped up going toward the end. It just,
Saturday was unbelievable.
we never had a Saturday
Flies.
like that before.
Well, you were there.
Yeah,
I
I
had
voted
to get
Saturday.
to do sticker duty because every person was maxed out and they were curbside and it was
That's Saturday's
busy.
not like it before, have
It
we?
was pretty exciting there.
Yes,
It was good to
sounded like
see.
it. Since I saw the numbers, I thought,
Wow.
a lot
That's
lot
what I
going
thought.
on.
Yeah.
Barbara and I was talking earlier about Saturday voting, and that did good having that available for our county population of voters.
Well, we have to do it on the last Saturday by statute. It's the other two Saturdays we didn't have to.
Mhm.
Right.
We've had altogether Saturday and today, probably 12 people, or Andrew, you can maybe answer that better. 12 or 14 that have called or come by and wanted to know where early voting was at today.
Today,
I've had 2 calls asking where could they vote today?
Yeah, they think
I
we're
said you
really
can't.
good to turn all that around in one night.
Can't. I said, you'll have to wait till election day tomorrow.
That's right.
And
And then you have to say, now remember, you have to go to your election day precinct. This is not your election day precinct.
I didn't say that. I
Probably.
should have told them that, but they should know that.
They
I
should.
told them to
If they're
tell them.
If they're uncertain, Barbara, just have them call us.
Well, no, one of them was family member.
Some can get lucky and just be their precinct, but
That's right.
and you see the length of time between the 15th and the 28th.
Yes.
Mhm.
It was put in at 7:50 PM on the 28th, which means it was the same day registration on the 28th of February.
All the boards had the opportunity to look at the paperwork going around the table. Any further comments or motions?
I think it's much like the same circumstances we were in a week ago. I don't know that there is much of an option available to us. There's no, I don't think there's a question the course of action that the board must take.
Mhm.
With just what, well, I should hold that comment.
And two, did you notice the date of the signature?
Mhm.
That's the birthday. We got it twice now.
Yes.
One for-
All the evidence is there.
So we would need a motion to have that as a challenge.
Yes, if that's what the board wishes.
I'd like to make a motion that we challenge the ballot that has been circulated amongst the board.
We have a motion to make a challenge to the said voter and his registration. I guess we're challenging his registration and his ballot.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
we have a second. Is there any further discussion around the table on the motion?
If I understand correctly, does the challenge on behalf of the board come from the chair? Is that the way we?
By statute, yes, I would be the challenge.
Like we did last time.
That's right, yeah.
And just as a reminder, of course, early voting is no longer absentee. So we won't be doing early voting at 2, but nonetheless, at 7:30 tomorrow, when we do early voting, closing the polls, we'll still close like normal because this will have to be day canvas.
Okay.
So we won't be pulling that tomorrow.
Okay.
Call for a vote. All those in favor of the challenge of registration and ballot, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous decision. Challenge the registration and the ballot. Said vote.
And while we're on that subject, Chairman, if I could ask, we're probably going to have to do this one at 8:30 and the other one at 9:30 in order to start canvas at 11 on the day of canvas. And I'm sorry to have to do that, but I'm afraid if we don't leave enough.
You mean it's 8:30 twice
Huh?
in one day?
Did I say 8:30 and 8:30?
No,
Oh, I was
no.
gonna say 8:30 and
No.
You said
9:30.
8:30.
And-
Oh, it's 2 times in one day too. Don't mess with my brain today. So an hour for each, because you never know, I don't know,
Sure.
We don't know what it would.
Absolutely.
they may not show up, but they may.
Will it require a court?
Neither will require a court reporter. I have
Okay.
got that
That's great.
verified.
That's
That
So
great.
is great.
that leaves us a little more room to,
That's good.
That's
Yeah.
excellent.
And so both of them does not.
they do not, the recording
That's
of
surprising.
our minutes, the audio recording will suffice for this.
Okay.
That's
Great.
great.
Money too.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, because that was different from last
It
year.
was,
Yeah, we had to have a
We
court
didn't.
report for the
yeah,
last
I know,
one.
so I asked specifically that, I said, are you certain we do not have to have a court?
So we didn't have to
Can
have
you
one
put that in
then?
I
writing,
don't know
Chris?
about then, because then I was told we was, no,
Can
it
you
is,
put
it's
that
in
in
an
writing
email.
for us, please?
It's in an email. It's
What's
okay.
changed?
I don't know, but that means I'll have to do the
Well,
transcripts, but in my unprofessional way that I'll have to do it.
And the secretary thanks you.
He
Our
better.
our previous experience last year did not involve voting. It was just purely
Registration.
registration. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So do we need a motion to start at 8:30 or we just need a nod of heads?
Well, we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
We might be meeting at 7:30 before it's over.
That's a good point.
Back.
That's a good point.
Tomorrow's gonna be
Yeah,
the big.
and all the absentee ballots aren't back either. So this period to challenge an absentee is not over either.
I guess we need to leave it open.
Block the day, block the whole day.
Can I sleep in here someone?
Listen.
Take a nap?
We need
Can he have a
bunkers.
cot?
With that said, is it possible to, were it be necessary to have, well, the challenges heard, is it possible to meet prior to that day?
These both have to occur on the
Same day as canvas?
notice of canvas. Yep,
And canvas, it by the statute is at 11
is at
o'clock.
11. Mhm.
I wonder though, if you're you're in Wake
Yeah,
and there are,
Oh, multiple.
I mean, you know that there are
yeah.
And
40,
Mecklenburg.
50 challenges
Mhm.
that are heard.
How do
You
you
know
do
that's
that?
not going to happen before 11 a.m.
Uh-uh.
You click right through them right quick.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, there's,
You can't do that.
There's
Well,
gotta
you
be some-
probably open a challenge with everybody in place, and then the chairman just reads the name. That person can present evidence, and then you make that decision, go to the next, and it's just probably maybe 10 minutes at the
Yeah,
most.
I don't know how else you do it.
They
Yeah.
might get through it quicker
But
than
if
we
you've
do
got
well,
too.
that would
hundreds.
upset me if I were the person on being challenged.
It almost
Yeah.
have to be an assembly line
Yeah. it
process to
would.
get through
Yeah.
everything.
It has
Open
to be
a
done.
challenge hearing for all
All
of the
challenges.
challenge.
Mhm.
So you don't have to go through the same dialogue and then you move from one to the other within.
You would think there would be some mechanism to be able to move those to a day earlier or something
Well,
in the event of a,
but
you know, what if you
oftentimes
have something that's complex?
you have until 5 o'clock the day before canvas to present proof of this or that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
so
it be
that-
great if we got some of them people to talk to us? I mean, just sometime when it's off year or something, just say, how do y'all do this?
Drew, I'm gonna set up an appointment
True.
with you to go to Mecklenburg
He is a
this summer.
he's a
It'll be a-
secretary anyway.
Yeah,
You should be doing
and
that.
they have a golf cart they can carry you around on. That's how big their warehouse is. So I'm
A
gonna,
golf cart.
yeah, see, I'm serious. So I'm gonna get you set up.
Making
Then you can report to the
appointments.
board,
Let
secretary.
me check my schedule.
And they
Keep
want you
that on
down,
hold.
they want you down there by 9 at Mecklenburg.
Just keep it on hold. Good night.
Okay, 6 o'clock meeting, guys.
Okay, any further challenge ballots?
Not at this moment.
Okay, let's move into the absentee ballots. That's the meat of our meeting.
Okay, statistics for today are, we have a grand total of 351. We have 146 that are still outstanding. 21 have been returned not okay, and some of those 21 will be right here. For a group total of 184, which is civilian, military, and overseas that have been returned okay. And then today, we have before you 68 that are recommend approval. When we closed the machine last week, we were at 116. And if you subtract 116 from 184, your total is 68. So
How do we get to 184? I got 146, then 21, not okay, and then
ballots returned okay or 184.
Altogether throughout the whole district
Uh-huh.
up to today.
okay.
And today you have 68 too. Then the issue ones are here, but most of them are just the photo ID exception forms that you'll have to determine on.
Nothing tricky there.
That doesn't appear to be. All right, do you all want to, my person team want to go ahead with Andrew and verify the seals? That's the lid, right? Yeah.
44 on the bottom, 45 on the top.
Yes.
I'm looking at it, yeah.
46,
I remember. Yeah.
46, 44, 45?
Yeah.
That's what I have. Robert, you wanna-
Are you good?
44, 45. Is that okay?
Well, I can remember the number.
That's not good.
Well, you know, it's,
Good luck.
you know, it's not changed.
Better not. Better not, yeah. We'll have some remarks. We should have one military and 2 overseas. And then the one military here was an actual male, so it's a,
4 remarks in.
so 3. No, this
Oh,
one
okay.
actually, he mailed it, so it's an actual ballot.
I don't know if these are go homes, but if they are, thank you.
If they're what? Go.
If these are go homes.
Yeah,
but if
those
they-
are good ones.
If they are, thank you.
They're sharp.
I like the small ones and it is sharp, so
Yeah.
you'll
They
have to
do
fight.
well.
You'll have to
Envelope
fight me for
opener,
it.
right?
We got plenty.
Envelope opener.
Yeah. Today, we're gonna use the big machine. Andrew will tell us the number.
I can't picture a county like Wake or Mecklenburg, Guilford, someplace like that.
Our first night.
I can't either. Do you come in at midnight?
Do you go home?
That's probably,
I mean,
Do
that's
you
probably a
even
better
come-
question.
I'm
just
wondering,
picturing
yeah,
On the
how
day
do
of
they work
canvas,
it?
if you've got all
Yeah,
these
that would
challenges.
be very interesting.
Because if I'm
to,
going to
What's
present
the
a
count
case
say,
against it,
Andrew?
116.
Okay,
and
yep.
I want to be, how do you deny me being heard if I want to make a case?
Yep, go ahead. The count was 116.
I
Yes.
don't want you to fast track me if I,
But you know,
you
one of the
give me
prices
cause to proceed on with further,
You
if that's the
can-
case.
probably predict 80% of the people do not show up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
Then it's just.
Right.
And if it's okay, I'll go ahead and pass this report around. This was the 8 ballots that had been affidavit review pending last week. So the ones with the checks are the ones we put in at the end. So this just shows the new stats for last week, that you'll see the date there was the 28th of February that was ran. So just need signatures on the second page of that. Last week. And then I'll take. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I remember that.
This is a configuration report. Let's get signatures that shows the count was 116. And everything that comes in after this meeting will go on the supplemental absentee meeting for Thursday night. before campus,
I mean, Wednesday night.
Thursday night before campus.
So this Thursday.
No, a week from Thursday.
Canvas is on Friday.
I'm thinking it's on Thursday. Didn't it used to be on Thursday?
Mm-mm. It's 10 days after election day.
Recheck your
It
calendar on
is,
your
I'm
phone.
sorry, 749 and 748.
Don't you show up on Thursday.
Yeah.
I think it's Thursday.
Yeah, and we will have to unseal
You
it
show up
today
at 8:30 on Thursday, you got two.
because we have
Show
some
up.
militaries and overseas.
Supposed to go to church in somewhere on Thursday. I'm up there.
You all want us to do 20 random? How do you want to do?
Board wishes,
Whatever you recommend.
you wish to look at 20?
20 random, 21st 20, last 20, that'll be random, however you want to pull them out of there.
How about I'll let you do it again?
However,
Let me put that one back in there so it's fair. Thank you, sir.
Is this supposed to go in our manual, Michelle, all together at first, in front of all the other stuff?
Or however you want to do it.
Pick a
whichever
spot.
name.
Yeah, it's
That's a
it's
big
not that
thing.
one. What's the front of yours?
It's one that I actually made for myself.
Oh,
Yeah, you know,
okay.
yours, it might not fit. I
Okay.
didn't think about
That's okay.
Yeah, I
I've
like
already,
that.
converting.
I've already gone through a bigger ring size
Yeah.
myself.
Okay.
like you have.
Yeah.
It don't take long.
Yeah,
I have that one that I've kept at the
yeah.
house,
I've got another
that I
one
refer
that's-
to for things, but
We can definitely give you, y'all want a bigger one. We've
I
got
think
plenty.
I've got one that had a couple actually.
Secretary, would you count? I pull. Okay.
Four, six. One more.
Let me go ahead and be opening these then.
good, one of those
Look
new
down
envelopes
first.
that you don't catch them up in the sewer anymore.
Paper clips. Well, yeah, it makes sense. Up there, yeah.
Does a witness have to put in, Michelle, that the city
No, not
Just as long
if,
as the
not if you can read the zip code.
zip code's there.
Clearly,
Right.
yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah,
what
because
I
I
thought.
did notice the one. Mhm.
Yeah, that's
The
what I thought.
grandson of, yeah.
I'm glad you asked.
Now, if the zip was not legible, yes, we
Yeah.
would have had to require it.
Right. I knew it, but I was just letting the other board members know.
Pretty kind of.
Yeah, that's the kind of fella I
Mhm.
am. If you don't believe me, just ask me.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Drew.
You want to start doing that part.
This is in a notary.
Being certain,
That's done right.
don't question whether I've handled it.
I'm ashamed to even look at
I want to be sure that it was counted.
it. Yes, sir.
Don't question authenticity.
And as of today, the ones that are going around, everything has been cured that was pending.
Excellent.
Great.
The
Great.
only
Great.
one is we had to spoil the ballot that had been forwarded from the facility.
Mhm.
That's the only one that we've not received the ballot back on. But all other pending cures have been cured.
I really, let me note, I really appreciate y'all putting these little notes on here
Mhm.
with 74 when license expired, those little things, so that I appreciate you answering the questions that we would have before, so we don't even,
Anticipate sometimes.
well, I mean, so we don't even have to ask them. It makes what we do so much easier, and we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Makes the board's job a lot easier. And good to know that y'all look at that and catch that.
Yes, we try.
Well, a lot of eyes go over each of these.
Mhm.
That. I wish the public realized how many different sets of eyes go over
I got a
it.
call. I got a call from somebody that saw us on Surrey TV and said, "Oh, y'all really did work on that one vote." They was listening and watching.
That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Wish there were more people that would do
It's in
that.
there. In that back.
Yes, sir.
I tried my best today to get a gentleman to come and watch,
Yeah.
and tried to it last week.
I can't find it
Can you
on
borrow
any
one of your
TV I
letter
have access to.
Yes, we've got,
Only if you'll bring it back. I already laid claim to that.
Now, on top of the envelope.
Yes.
Thank you, Andrew.
We'll see if it comes through these.
I want you to look at me running those, Andrew.
When I get these things right here, you want me to open up. Off that,
Either way.
right there,
Yeah, that's fine. Mhm.
they'll be done.
That's, that suits me good.
You know any part of our old manual we can throw out because of this new manual, Michelle?
Huh?
Any part of the old manual we can throw out because of this new one?
No, you might have to refer to both.
Just doubled up.
And do not throw away the old law book.
Oh,
Oh,
No,
excuse me, the old law book and the older law book. The black cover or the
yeah.
maroon cover.
Oh, right. Is that really maroon you call?
Mm.
Because my wife says I'm colorblind.
yeah, it's maroon.
Is that close to brown?
Depends on
Close to
depends on
brown.
your age. It could be cordovan or.
Oh, yeah, cordovan. I hadn't heard that word in a long time. Cordovan shoes, I remember.
Yes.
We have shoe store. That was the man's.
And then you had, as far as polish, you had oxblood. Did you have any oxblood polish? Did you ever have any oxblood polish?
No, I just had kiwi.
Well, that's brand.
Shoe polish is hard to come by.
Nobody polishes shoes hardly anymore.
Just little-
You got one.
Very little leather.
Right.
You have to overload it, so you have to cast it. Which means neither of their votes will be counted on that one contest.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who's yours?
Yeah.
You didn't. Mine. Yours. You hid yours.
I see it. Believe me.
Box of pins says 2020 election.
And thank you.
Mhm.
And thank you for the
Banner
new
stand
date stamp.
on the next to the last day.
Hey, that was good.
We'll all be doing that in the general election.
Yeah.
Dwayne's been handling it in the primary. We'll all have a dose of that.
Yeah.
assembly line.
Mhm.
Lot more ballots.
Absolutely. You think 20% will show up, Michelle, and make the primary at 20%?
2020, we were 28%. You know, everything. I think we'll make that.
Gonna push it, won't it?
There was, I think it was more, in 2020, it was still up in the air about the presidential
Yeah.
more than now.
The City of Mount Airy contest is what's really,
Bringing them out up there.
yep.
I
That's,
noticed that
that's what's
graph.
made the difference.
That's a beautiful graph you sent us. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Showing everybody voted and what precinct and everything.
I came over and voted, Carolyn and I and our granddaughter here on Saturday, I don't know, 11:30, I
Yeah,
suppose, something like
before
that.
lunch.
After we got done, we went over to Mount Airy and ate lunch, and when we finished, I said, let's drive through over there, and we actually drove through and under the tent, and
The circus tent, because that's what it's been.
I thought I'd have to blow the horn to be able to get folks to move out of the way in order to be able to drive through.
That's not really good.
Oh,
But
it's-
that's
well,
the way
they're
it's
not.
always been.
They're not supposed to. I mean,
It's the buffer zone.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
should have threw
It is a
you
buffer
should have threw a
zone.
flag and said encroachment.
well,
Wouldn't do any
Hey,
good.
look, the guy that
It wouldn't
checked
do
you
any
in,
good.
when you left, he said,
Mm-mm.
seems like I should know that name.
who said that?
The guy that checked you in.
Oh, yeah. Well, he told me
Who's
that.
this thing? And I said, geez, he's on my board. That's how I know that name. But he said, seems
Well, I
like
thanked
should
him for
know
what-
that name.
I thanked him for what he does, and he said, I appreciate that.
He's, he actually just recently retired from the city of Winston-Salem. And he is such a good speaker and wonderful. So I asked him Saturday if he would consider doing some videos for us.
Okay.
And he said, you can call me whenever you're ready.
Aren't the one that got the voice from San Francisco?
Did you work at the radio station?
You would not,
Hey,
you would not know it was
for many
him.
years.
I thought so,
You
yeah.
would not know it was him.
You need a motion on these.
No, not on these, just
Okay.
when we get to these right here.
Okay. Gonna roll this thing along.
You remember our friend that called you that said that
Yes,
about you?
yes.
As many.
Many moons ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Voice from San Francisco. He wasn't meaning. right
It wasn't a
along.
compliment.
No, it was not a compliment. Never was intended to be. Did you go to school then, or you just picked it up?
Went to Surrey Central.
Learned to, like, what's that Don Williams song, like, learn to talk like the man on the 6 o'clock news?
Yeah. Well, my family had been in the radio business for many, many years. That's where it come from.
WCOK.
Well, and several other stations.
Was, this in the Dobson, was that your kin too that started that? John, is that his name, John?
Yeah.
Was he your uncle or cousin?
Because
I remember when he was that, I remember him running. He was the first one that started, but I come here.
station over at Elkin, station Yadkinville, station Silver,
WIFM,
from Atlanta, Georgia to,
WYDK, yeah,
a lot of stations and a lot of different ones.
1480.
FMBN.
And Elkin had
Oh, Ralph.
WIFM AM and WIFM FM.
Or if one particular announcer said AM, FM, and PM.
Whole day long.
This is art.
Surrey on the go.
I used to come when I was going to school, when I was, I'd come home on weekend when Homer J was working at this in here in Dobson.
Yeah.
I would do news at noon, and I pull out a Winston-Salem Journal, just read it. I was doing the news.
Yeah.
That was election year. He said, your news is kind of one-sided, ain't it, Drew?" I said, I'm just reading the newspaper. Homer."
I'm blanking out, Andrew. You know what Shoals precinct number is? It's here.
Melvin, what was his name, to play the fiddle, him and his wife. showed up.
Slade.
Oh,
Melvin
yeah,
Slade.
Lord have mercy.
Come up there every Saturday. On Jay at the interview, and we got a live star here, folks. Slade.
Hey, Robin, what's the precinct number for
Roger used
Shoals?
to quote some of the sell ads
I'm
to
drawing a
me.
blank.
We would just laugh.
He was a character here around town.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Hey, hold on one second. Let me make sure this other one has it. Elkin, is Elkin 30? Elkin, yeah, Elkin. Okay. Overseas. 23. Let me tell you that, but I wasn't positive.
I thought it was 23.
Sleep. Again, well, it's topped it off there, but it looks like that, and then of course, the precinct.
Yeah.
You just spoil that one when you get finished.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Got one for y'all too, Drew.
I'm waiting. Jimmy.
That's right.
Let me have your opener. Right. Oh, yeah.
Steve Crossler. Christine Villa Birds.
That's pretty good. I don't know that I could do it better on that one.
It was the middle. It was the
Middle one, yeah, the middle one.
Michelle Morrow. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Tails. Put that with this thing.
Do we have to?
Yeah, put them together.
Okay.
Let's see.
Associate seat 6, Allison Reed.
Sign it too, or just initial it.
Yeah. just a minute.
That's
I
okay.
didn't.
You're fine.
There we go. Well, we did that's a good, let's, you wanna do it? All right.
Yeah.
And that one should be 30th precinct.
It
Yes,
is,
okay, good
it
deal,
is.
good deal.
Okay.
Stein. Rachel. Harris. Perfect.
No school board.
Countywide ballot, it's the same one as that. We don't have a candidate.
That's a,
Running.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's Democrat, there's no school board at Elkin that's on the Democrat ticket.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody gets the Surrey TV, gets to see this. My mother doesn't get it. She's
Oh,
got
really?
cable.
Y'all were on loop at the Mount Airy early voting site last week,
I mean, they was
The-
repeating
the
it.
board meetings.
At the
Last
Mount Airy board meeting,
I don't know which one, it was just, I could see y'all up there.
at the Mount Airy board meeting.
No, at the Mount Airy early voting site, they got two huge TVs going all the time.
So we were streaming across the screen.
A lot of excessive talking.
Not naming anybody.
Not looking at him.
You get the pluses and the minuses.
You gotta take the good with the bad.
Yeah, well, thank you.
It's the whole package.
Yeah. I'm afraid that's it.
Not an apology, just get what you get.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
As in, that's about like my children, I'm not changing.
I used to say, don't talk out of school, but school didn't let out for me.
Okay.
Just
Yes,
on the side somewhere there. I
Yeah,
saved it. Okay.
that's perfect. Before I start these, when you get done with those, I'm gonna put them in the right box before, see.
Did somebody say something?
Just me.
Always
Well, you know, they're not
get
gonna say
the
anything.
lowdown from Michelle.
Okay, now our pending stack. These both appear to have their photo IDs inside the ballot envelope. So this person has checked, I'm including a photocopy of my ID, but it's blank, but it's definitely, it feels thicker, and there's a portion here you can't see any channel marks, which is the ballot, so I will open it. Or can I borrow the opener?
Give those out to her.
You just gonna have to give that one back to her.
I'd say,
She's taking it away.
I bragged on that thing.
I see our new swag needs to be openers with our logo on it.
Here we go.
We had that one time, didn't we?
I actually was looking for that. Flipped it over.
I
didn't
did
see it,
too.
so-
I know, Roy. I did.
Yes, and it is valid. So the board can pass that around. Everything else on the ballot envelope is complete. You just want to look at her photo ID. This one, the ballot was outside of the envelope. The envelope is sealed with the photo ID in the envelope. But the ballot was sealed in the container. Open it to make sure that it's in here.
Surprised that more of the photo IDs have not been included into
Exactly.
the ballot
Because
envelope.
there's, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot for them to have to,
Oh, it is. It's a
It
lot of
is.
steps.
and so I'm,
It's overwhelming,
yeah,
really.
it is.
We've had a few bring them everything back and just say, I didn't put anything anywhere until I do it in front of you all. So I want it to be right.
Oh,
It
that's-
was in there and it is valid, so I'm gonna put it in here.
But you know, it's not been bad for the first time.
No, it really
I
hasn't.
think
hasn't.
It really
people
has
have done
not.
good with it, I believe.
Yes.
That is right.
Yes.
The test will be this fall, probably.
Yeah.
Getting both.
Heavier volume.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It surprises me the number of people, particularly older folks, that have not checked to send them a ballot, or if there's a second primary. I
And
worry
they
that
may have
people have just
overlooked
missed
that.
it. Yeah,
It's
They-
very tiny,
Yeah,
but the good thing, if they have filled out the bubble on the request form for all year, it wouldn't matter if they checked it or not, they'll get one anyway.
well, I hope that's the
So
case.
hopefully,
good,
most of them do
especially the
that.
older ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Andrew, you wanna? On this one?
Well, you need motions on these.
Yes, sir, I will.
Okay.
On these two. And what's that number there, Andrew?
So do you need to run these before we do that?
What's that number?
184.
184? That's right, 184 matches our statistics for today.
Oh, yes,
Uh-huh.
it does.
Mm, there it
It's
is.
perfect.
Very good.
Thank you.
In 20, the fall election, I think didn't we have about 75% turnout
Mhm.
for this county? And this is 20%. I mean, not even, you hadn't got to 20%.
Yeah.
But it's primary. Okay, absolutely, all of these here are affidavits for no photo ID with the reasons, so if y'all want to look at those. Make the motion for all of them.
They've been checked and been,
Yeah, and you can see the notes there, verified socials, driver's license, if it applies.
You recommend approval on all of
I
them?
do recommend approval. And there's a couple, at least two I can think of that came in today that they have lost or stolen their identification. So they do not have to provide a driver's license or last four social for that reason.
Mm.
So And it is in compliance if they check that. So they don't have to fill it in.
I'm just so glad that the driver's license and last four of social is available readily to connect in with our information to let the approval be able to go through and it not be a problem or a lengthy.
How many of these, Michelle?
Good question. That's why I
Okay.
kept these two separate, so I
Never
won't
mind,
count
that's
at the
okay.
end.
That's okay.
I did have it going at one point last
I'll
week.
I'll make a statement.
If a notary does this, do they have to know that it's definitely the person? Don't the notary?
Well, they're
I
supposed to.
mean, they're supposed to.
They have to show an ID to the
Mhm.
notary.
Should,
Yeah, yeah.
either
The
know them or
notary is
should.
obligated to know that that's who
That's what I was thinking. So
They take us to the notary,
Mhm.
to the same, so.
that's an extra layer there.
We had a couple that the wife notarized the husband and the husband notarized the wife.
Don't they know they're not supposed to?
But in election law, that's not, but that's on them for their notary.
That's just
Right,
borderline.
it is.
Okay,
That was the first.
affidavit pending, where the lost or stolen.
Mhm.
And there's been no notation of social or well, they couldn't put the driver's license number on there unless they do it tomorrow.
There's no line for it that is acceptable as a reasonable impediment without having to provide the last four social or driver's license. But it's up to the board, though.
But they're in the system.
They are in the system.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Everything matches. Okay.
And they did fill out, of course, an absentee ballot request form. That attachment
Okay.
is in their record in order to get this too.
Just makes me feel a whole lot better when I see social.
And there is one lady in the mix there. You'll see she did provide the last four of her social, even though she checked lost photo ID. Mm.
Cannot get out.
heard
Thing on the agenda.
after everybody, after this, they got a vote, they have a vote.
Consent.
And then do they, people come up and speak then, and then we're next.
I think we're doing pretty good on time. Let's just try
Yeah.
to-
Yep,
Yeah,
so
we're doing
that's
really
all the pending.
Let's say the board on the 16 ballots that we have just reviewed. Motion approved. We have a motion to approve for the 16 ballots.
Second.
And we have a second. Any discussion on the motion for the 16 ballots for approval? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ballots that we approve.
Sorry, who made the motion?
Drew.
Okay, and
Secretary.
Clark second. Okay.
Grass is gonna start growing this week.
Roger wanted to know today. He wanted to know last week. Oh, mercy.
Well, you said your yard's been green all winter.
Oh, it is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. That's the first thing he does is open the blinds and in the mornings and enjoying looking out. It's pretty much. It's beautiful. And it's been green the whole time. And it's a pretty spring green. It's not
That first mowing, when your yard gets the first one, that smell. That's the smell you remember the rest of your life. Nothing, just that first mow.
And then that night you started in a sneezing
That's
You
true.
want to mow it on
Yeah,
Saturday so that you can cook on the grill on Saturday.
That's it.
I always had.
Mhm.
and be outside and enjoy the scene. And the smell.
You see the river from behind your house?
Now, here,
You can hear it, really?
yeah. It's nice.
you get out there and be quiet.
So do you live on the river?
Is there some, did your land go all the way to the river?
Thanks, Clarks.
Thank you. I wasn't sure about that. Thank you.
How long will our meeting tomorrow at 2 last?
I think it could be all that long.
Might not be. When I come, I will be here. I'll camp out for the
Really?
afternoon and the evening. I just always have.
Really?
Just,
I think we'll go home.
I'm going home. I'll go home. I'm scared Roger will start mowing.
I think in Queenie, everybody stayed here that afternoon.
So.
Everybody stayed all day in
Oh,
Queenie.
you're right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yes.
I think we had
Yeah.
a little bit of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But
See
I
to.
know it
I don't
looks
think we
good.
did last week, though.
Mhm. Beat him going, strong, 'cause it's in the back. And I'm s- because you don't- he wants his work.
The last one,
But I have to.
okay.
That's one you have it, Michelle, or you got nothing else?
That's all. Sorry, Dwayne.
No problem.
That's it.
How long?
200.
Barbara was wanting to know about the 2 o'clock meeting tomorrow. What will we do then? Will it take
2
long?
o'clock, no, it'll be very short. All we have to do is open that machine and close that machine. There's only one absentee by mail. Then those totals though can't be read in until 7:30.
Okay.
Do
Then
print the tapes tomorrow
Print the
too.
tapes though at 2. And then
I'm doing,
sign them, and that's,
That's it.
you'll compare the seals before it's open, verify the count, close the polls, tapes will print.
30 minutes.
I'd say at the most. Unless there's something that goes down between now and then, at an election day precinct.
The only difference between, but last time is we counted them at 2 o'clock. They went in and dumped this
No,
time.
the only difference is at the 2 o'clock meeting all the years prior, you do the very same thing to your early voting machines. Now, that's not absentee. So the early voting machines can't be shut down until 7:30 tomorrow night and read in at 7:30. So see, that's gonna delay
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Well, the way-
was it 3 machines?
up to,
Or one down there, one here?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it might have been 2 down there.
they'll be a little faster because there's no write-in option for the primary. Write-ins takes a long time to print all those, so that'll make it a little bit faster.
Any further ballots to be
That's all.
examined or such?
What's your count, Andrew? Perfect, that's what we're supposed to be at. So that machine will close with an even 200. That's great.
So we can proceed with closing that machine. Just,
Closing it, but not closing the poll.
Right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
We can shut it down.
Absentee ballots coming tomorrow. When is that?
Absentee ballots tomorrow are considered supplemental. So they will be counted on the supplemental absentee meeting the night before Columbus. Anything actually that comes in today, after this meeting and tomorrow will be supplemental. We went to the mail twice today, and quite a few people have hand delivered them. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you for that stamp. Excellent.
We should have had that all along.
That's a whole lot better.
Much more glitter. Andrew, you got your seals for over there?
I'll come tomorrow at 2, leave, go home.
Yep.
Come back about 7.
Thank you.
I mean,
Now, when we come back at 7 or 7:30, how
Yeah.
long will that meeting last?
7:30, you'll be here for the duration.
this may be done by,
Till
if
the
we're
county
lucky, by somewhere between 10 and 11 would be my guess.
That would be great. That's what I'm hoping.
I would say 10 and midnight.
Yeah, 10 and midnight.
Yeah, that's a
We know
safer
what to
bet.
pray for.
Like I said, between 10 and 11 if we're lucky.
I'll be here at 1 o'clock tomorrow. I don't know. I've always made a habit to be here as chairman, to be here an hour before the meeting. I was late today. I was here only 45 minutes.
You weren't late.
You're not within the hour. It's like, oh, he's late.
Yeah, we
You're-
get worried if it's not an hour.
But you're early late
Wayne, okay?
for yourself.
That's why you
You're
get
not
that big
late.
bucks.
Got
Right?
his schedule pegged.
$25. Buy a lot of
Buy a
chairman.
lot of what?
Not
I'd
much
like to
of
know.
anything.
Buy $30.
At the grocery store, nothing.
Nothing, that's right.
But nothing we could do tomorrow before 7:30. That's the bottom line, after we come back.
And then you will be busy because the board actually marks down, on the clipboard in the boardroom as all the returns come in. So you're marking down and you're opening the secure packs to record the time, what was in it.
And we'll
do that up there in
We
the
will-
little conference room, or are we gonna do that?
We will
in-
do that part up there. The 7:30 meeting though, we'll start here because it's public.
Okay.
After the machine tapes and everything run, then we'll take that stick over, read it into electionware. And at that point, y'all will be over there for the duration of the night.
In the little room or the big room?
2 o'clock is here as well.
In the little room.
Look around.
In your regular boardroom, yeah.
Okay. Do we need to verify seal
Verify
number?
seal, if y'all will. And then Andrew, I've got 178,351 for the ballot box. 178,352. I'll just say that everything today has went very smooth setting up. Everybody was back in by, say, 1:30. Everybody was complete, except we did have one hiccup at Armfield in Pilot. I think they did not realize it was spring break, and so they have all the kiddos there. All the kiddos were in the room that we use. So when we showed up to set up at 12 o'clock, they said, oh, you can't be in here till after 4 or 5.
Really?
So we have,
They didn't reserve it.
they did, but didn't cross-check
School schedule.
school schedule.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we just left everything on the truck, brought the truck back here, and my husband and Darlene's going out to set that up afterwards because we hated to have that team sit here for 4 hours
Right.
when they had set up all the other precincts.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Glad that it went smooth.
yeah, it did. It went very smooth.
We did not used to have spring break at Easter.
Mm-mm. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always.
And
I
see,
came up by the
Easter,
school today and I thought, what's going on?
I
Why
did
isn't no
too.
one at school?
I had to deliver some handkerchief and I went by Dobson Elementary and I thought, nobody's here. Oh, it's spring break.
Yeah.
Time wise, we're moving along right on schedule. Very good for us to be able to get a front row seat. So is there any other business to come before this board today?
No, but we have supper next door for the board, if you would like to partake.
Oh, wow. You got what?
Food, we have food.
Okay.
And no beans.
Look at him smile.
Because you probably would be nicer if your bellies are full.
Compliments of who?
Well, it's just part of the process.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No home cooking, Drew. There's no time for that right now. Maybe tomorrow.
Okay. Anything else that we need to be aware of, or brought before us?
No, sir.
All right.
Hope we continue tomorrow. It's really all in all, early voting was very, very smooth.
Good.
Great.
With poll workers and voters, it was very smooth. Campaigners, not so much. I mean, that's-
How many questions did you hear coming up between our poll workers and people voting? Did you get through as many or?
Not
two
many at
judges
all.
mentioned? Okay.
Um, To be honest, most people were happy to present photo ID.
Okay.
More questions were about why were we scanning the back of the license? And it just makes it faster, and it also
Yeah.
makes it way less likely to get a junior and senior
Sure.
messed up.
Mhm.
Worked great, but election day, see, we don't have enough scanners.
No.
So
Oh, yeah.
it's back to pecking, for election day. But hoping to budget for those and have those before November, because that sure makes mistakes a lot less likely.
Yeah.
Great.
When Cindy showed that during the training, I mean, I knew that it had to be a barcode for information, but I just didn't realize
Yeah.
what was,
Yeah.
coming from that barcode.
I never used mine for that before.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't.
I didn't either.
Neither have I.
We had a few people question that,
Yeah, I can see why.
but,
Yeah.
and then we had some poll workers who said they didn't want to use it. They would rather type it in. So if a couple came in and one person checking in was typed in, one was ballot scanned, the
Yeah.
handgunned.
scanned.
Right.
Well, why did mine have to be? So I did have a person call. I said, well, it's just the preference of the poll worker some didn't want to use it. They didn't want to make it easy on themselves.
Any hiccups as far as people presenting a photo ID that was not approved by state board?
No, we only had 2 provisionals that were due to lack of photo ID. 2 of the 8 was
That's
all.
great.
Yeah.
That is great.
I expected much
So,
more than that.
I did
Mhm.
too.
Wow.
I expected a lot
Tomorrow,
more.
there'll be more
Tomorrow
tomorrow.
there'll be,
Some different,
I hope we get less than 100.
Mm.
I really hope we get less than 50. but I don't know that way.
So it's like gonna wish.
Yeah, if I'm a wish myself.
Andrew, anything further on your desk? Okay, anything further from any of the board members as far as other business?
I appreciate Barbara bringing food
Oh,
last week.
yes. it
I got
was.
to eat some.
did you?
It was great.
I didn't know if
appreciate
you would eat it. That's why I
I'll
didn't
eat it, yes.
mention it.
That was-
Okay,
that
good.
was- I
It
thought-
was enjoyed by the early voting staff
Good.
that night, and it was,
And did you get some?
and
Yeah.
Robin was tickled to death to have spinach in her salad.
Oh, good.
That was,
She's
a-
the
that was a
healthy
lot,
one.
that was a lot of work.
It
Put in
was
there.
very good.
Well,
Like
it wasn't.
Salad
that
and
much.
spaghetti and cake too.
And listen.
And
that's
cake and
nothing.
bread.
That was
Yeah.
not a lot. I
Very
didn't do
nice.
the-
Very good.
I'm pleased that we have moved along with our agenda items.
Oh, we do have some reports, sorry. Almost done. The last, there's 3 pages to that one, and then this one is just 1. And then tomorrow I'll have an updated list with the 16. That'll show you.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you. Y'all can just leave your thing set up because no one will be
Oh,
And-
okay.
Okay.
in here tonight. And actually, Wayne, I'll just leave these for right there because
Great.
no one should be in here.
One starting around. All three of these need signature.
Yes, sir.
Three of these.
So there's just one signature on that one. I'm not even looking at what percent these are executed. So that's-
And supposedly by the end of this week, there will be an announcement by the three-judge panel from their arguments received before them from last week on the disposition of state and county board makeup.
At the end of this week,
They said it
The
would be,
indication they gave
but that will
by the night.
probably be appealed by one side or the other.
It was supposed to be Andrew, help me with the words. What did Karen say? A absolute, not an absolute. What terminology did she, permanent injunction?
whether it cannot be appealed.
She said a permanent injunction.
That sounds like for it
Yeah,
not
I'll
to,
go back to my notes this morning, but it's something like that I thought, oh, wait, that sounds,
I
It
suspect
could be
it
an
can be,
impossible
I suspect it
injunction
could be
for
appealed.
anything not to change before it goes through the appeal process.
maybe.
It's three boards hearing it,
same board.
the same board that voted to hear.
Mhm.
Wayne, in legal terms, that makes sense.
Permanent injunction to keep things
Thank you.
on hold until the end of
The term.
the state Supreme Court's decision.
Michelle,
I don't know that it could go.
you
to
want these
federal.
back?
Okay, as I started to say a while ago, I appreciate us all being able to stay within our agenda and our time where we didn't have to recess and come back
Amen.
in the dark later
Yes,
after our other meeting.
Yes.
yes.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion to
Second.
adjourn, and I see a hand for a second. Thank you, Jimmy. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned until tomorrow, 2 p.m.